Alright, welcome back to the channel. Well, what is this thing that we're working on here today? I've been working on this since February, end of February, and it's just been raining and raining and raining and raining. So, but what it is I have cut this trench, which you can see here. At least you can see where it's been filled back in, and going out to the back behind the shop there. So what I'm doing is I'm preparing to put a backup generator behind the shop, and at the same time I'm taking care of some drainage issues that have needed to be taken care of for a long time, and I'm extending a gas line that's probably never going to be used, but as long as I've got the ground opened up, I'm going to put one in the ground for potential future use. Anyway, so that's the big project. All of this area that's right here, all of from here all the way through here and all the way down here, all of this had to be hand dug. All of this between the house and the shop, all of that had to be hand dug and hand filled back in. The reason that it had to be hand dug and put back in is because between the house and the shop are all of the electrical conduit, the plumbing, the septic, the you name it, all of that, internet, whatever, all that's in the ground. So I couldn't very well be coming through there with a trencher and or a skid steer, any kind of a machine, and doing that with facilities already in the ground. So what I had to do was hand dig it, and so I'd hand dig and it would rain, and then I'd pump the hole out, and then I would hand dig and then it would rain, and then I would pump the hole out, and then I would hand dig and it would rain, and I would pump the hole out. So anyway, I've got a little bit of water left in here now that I need to pump out, and so we're rigged up to get ready to start working on that. So anyway, but that's a little update. I know started the video off with just me hand digging in long sleeves, and now it's June. So we're gonna work on this. I'm gonna start draining this, and then I'll get this one drained, and then once I got that done, I'll start trying to nibble this out with a skid steer. I've got some other jobs coming up, and so I'm going to be in and out of here doing this work, and do a little bit of work, go do a job, come back, unload, reset, do a little bit of work here. So but I'm going to keep you updated on this, and we'll see, at least for this project here, we'll make one little video out of this, and then and as we do other little sections of this overall lawn redo project, we'll just make little bits of videos for those too. So here we go. think we all know that the answer to that is no. But once again, this is the tool I have to do this with. And since I'm pretty much just going in a straight line, and I have the room to do it in this case, that's what I'm going with. It'll probably consume more rock to do for the French drain doing it this way, but it kind of allows me to do it on my schedule. Okay, I have already installed these electrical pipes here, and these electrical pipes already have their pull string in them, but I've got to add these electrical pipes to it. So I'm gonna use this vacuum, and I'm gonna suck in pull string to these pipes, and then I'm gonna tie it together with these, and then I'll stick these pipes together. Let's do that. I already have the pull string in these lines. And if I had known when I did all this that it was going to be as easy as it is, the vacuum would suck this pull string through here so easily, then I would not have put it in that first section of pipe and then had to marry it into this section. I would have just sucked the whole thing. And I may wind up having to pull it out. Depends on how this goes. On this, I've got to mark where these bends are gonna, where these elbows are gonna go. And then I gotta cut these pipes while they're stringing them. So I don't know about that. I don't know how that's going to go. Maybe I could shove that string back up in there. Cut this sucker. Okay, it worked. Just missed it. Look at that. There's our. How about that? Okay, I'm going to put the PEX pipe out now, or at least get it unrolled and get it ready to go before we put it in. But, you know, maybe if I can get it to stretch out a little bit, I don't know if it's going to want to try to stay cold up or if it's going to want to, if it's going to lay out and relax. Okay, it's going to be about 1100 degrees today, so hopefully the sun will have a little bit of an effect on this PEX pipe. So let it lay there for a little while in the sun, relax a little bit, maybe get some of this coil out of it, and then we'll stretch it into the trench and around the corner, and we'll be prepared for water. final shot. That's kind of what it looks like right now. That's what we got going on. We got a electrical on one side, gas on the other. Try to keep them separated as much as I could, but not able to do it as much as I would love to ultimately. They do come back together. I just put them into a box right there so that I can get to them in the future. Now I've got to figure out how to get this non-woven textile fabric in here. And from somebody who doesn't even like to roll up a sleeping bag, I can see that this is going to be a challenge. You guys don't overheat while I'm over here good. Okay, now that I got Batman's cape unfolded, we can see about getting it situated in there properly, and then we'll start working on putting some pipes in the ground. Well, we got to put a little bit of rock on the bottom of the thing first, then we'll put some pipe in the ground. All right, well, good morning. Today is the 4th of July, but it's going to rain apparently for the next week, so I've got to get this done today. Here's what we got today. So we got all that liner in there yesterday, and what I'm going to do here is right here at the end of this trench, I'm going to auger a hole in the ground right here, or down at the bottom of the trench, and then once I get it down in there pretty good, I'm going to line it, and then when we pull this back through here, I'll make a hole in the liner there. And we're going to fill that with rock so that we have kind of an elbow drain at the end of this line. So the plan is that I'm going to have pop-up emitters that are going to come up out of the ground right here, and but in the elbow, in the bottom of the elbow where it comes up like that, I'll drill a hole so that water that's trapped in there at the end of the rain cycle, where there's not enough volume to push the rain, push the water out of the top of the pop-up emitter, it can drain out of the system down into that hole. Is that a good idea? I don't know, but I saw it on YouTube, so I'm gonna try it. But first, I gotta get the auger hooked up. So here's something about this auger. So when I decided to retire and from my day job and to start doing this, I started collecting equipment, and I started getting jobs. People call and say, hey, I need help with this, or I need help with that. You guys see that okay? I can't tell. I don't normally do this. I don't normally clean this way, but it doesn't get this kind of attention very often, as long as I'm just working around the house here. I really clean these things up. But anyway, back to the auger. So I decided that, I was going to do this thing, and I started buying attachments. Well, I bought all kinds of stuff, trailers, skid steers, everything. And then I started getting calls for, hey, can you do this whatever it was, plant trees, put in fence, help us with put a pole barn in, that kind of thing, right? And so I was like, oh, I don't have an auger, so I need to get an auger. So I went out and I found the best one I could find, top of the line, Bell-Tech rock auger with a rock bit, and here it sits. It's never been used. In fact, it's about to be used for the first time ever. It's like, I don't know, 2 years old, something like that. It's been drilled into the ground here like this, just sitting here, not being used. But it's one of these things where I'm like, man, you know, maybe I just need to sell this thing because I never use it. But I know as soon as I sell it, I'll need it. So here it sits. But it's an H300 Bell-Tech auger. So I mean, that's, you know, that's one of the really good ones. So anyway, it should last forever, I guess, since I don't really use it, just forever. So anyway, let's let the machine get warmed up a little bit and I'll get it hooked up, and then we'll drill that one hole, and then we'll move on to the next part of the project. Again, what's going to happen is the pipes are going to come here, and then there's going to be an elbow with a pop-up emitter on top of it. So when the water comes down here at the end of this trench, if it's got enough flow behind it, it'll pop those emitters up, and water will come up out of the ground right here, pop up. But there'll be, when there's not enough water left to force that water out, there'll be water left in the pipes. And so where that elbow turns like that, I'm going to drill a little hole in the bottom of the elbow so that it'll have a place to drain. And then what I'll do is I'll line this and I'll fill this with rocks, and that'll give the water a little bit of a place to go, and over time it'll let the pipes drain out. That's the plan anyway. There, I got excited and I almost forgot to turn you guys on. Okay, I might have got a little chintzy with the stone. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I didn't want to put too much. I don't have a lot of fall to work with, like none. I'm in the not 1% range, but the 7 to 8/10% range of fall. So I got to be kind of careful about what I do with the stone here. I'm kind of razor's edge on how much fall and how much drain I'm going to have. So anyway, let's get it leveled out, and then we'll put the laser on it and see what's going on with that, and then on to the next step. So here we go. All right, what do y'all think? Well, we'll check that with the laser and we'll see what we got, and we'll add or subtract or do whatever we got to do and get it right. As right as we can get it. And then we'll be time to put some pipes in. So that'll be the next part. So here we go. Okay, let's put some holes in this PVC pipe. So that it'll drain like a French drain should, and I think a 1/2 inch ought to do it. That's a little bit better than the 45 caliber. 45 ain't never let me down. I think this will get it done. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, time to start putting some pipe in the ground. I'm going to start with this solid pipe attached to this drain end here. These rocks out here, that's probably not code. Other rocks in there. Anyway, so we'll put this thing on here like this. I guess that's how that goes. I suppose. And then we'll put this on there, the other side. Tell you what, do it like this. Do one side at a time. We'll start with some screws. Just something to kind of hold it together for the moment. And then after we get this on here, we'll tape it. All right, that's that. Now the only tape that I have here is this tape that's for taping up gorillas. And it's been sitting in the back of my truck, the toolbox, so it's that special kind of sticky condition that only can you get from tape that's been sitting in the back of a toolbox. in the back of a truck in 11 million degree Texas heat. That's some sticky stuff. All right, that's one side. I see why they use it on gorillas now. Goodness. All right, I think that'll be good till long after I'm dead. Okay, I've decided to make a little change to the project. We've got all of our pipe in and everything's down to the point where we're going to start putting some rock on top of the pipe. But the end down here where the water should come out, there just wasn't enough fall available on this ground. And I thought that maybe by the time I got it all worked out, that I'd have enough fall that I could have some pop-up emitters on the end down there, but I'm not going to have enough fall and room for pop-up emitters. It'll be too low for the water to pop out of the end on the pop-up emitters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dry well on the end of this to collect the water that comes out of the end of the pipes. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to top this with rock, and I'm gonna cover everything up and get the burrito wrapped and get all that done. And then I think we're gonna get some rain and probably be kind of damp for the next week or so. But I'll get a dry well ordered, and I'll get a big 36-inch auger bit, and we'll make a hole at the end down there, and we'll put a dry well in to collect the water that comes off the end of this thing, and then we should probably have this thing about wrapped up. So anyway, let's put some rock on. right, it's all covered up. Well, I'll dress it up and smooth it out. But that's going to wrap this up. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, even if it's what not to do. So anyway, it was a heck of a project. It lasted, I don't know, 4 months, 4 or 5 months, something like that. Long. You know, it was something I was able to do between other jobs and weather, lots of weather. But it's mostly done now. Obviously, still got to do that down there. Still got to put that dry well in and finish that up. But it's just clean up a little bit of spoil now and get everything slicked off, and we'll be on to the next part of the project. So I appreciate y'all coming along. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.